Welcome to Movement and Function. I'm Beth Wagner. Today's video is about treating hip bursitis, also known as trochanteric bursitis or greater trochanteric bursitis. Bursitis refers to inflammation, irritation in the bursa, which is a normal structure in our body. It's a fluid-filled sac that lives right underneath the bone and acts as a cushion. This video specifically addresses irritation of that bursa in the greater trochanter, which is the area here on the side of your hip. I'm going to show you my 5 favorite exercises to get rid of the pain and restore the normal ability to stand and walk. For these exercises lying down, I suggest lying on a firm surface with a little bit of cushion. You could try these lying on your bed, but it might be too cushiony. Try a couple different surfaces and see what works best for you. All right, with your hands comfortably by your side, bend your knees so your feet are flat on the surface. Start with your knees about hips distance apart. Engage your abdominals, squeezing your belly button in towards your spine. Squeeze your buttocks, lift your hips up, pause, and then lower to the starting position. Pause here, squeeze again and lift. Pause at the top and lower. I also suggest using just a small pillow for support. Shoot for 20 repetitions or do as many as you can to start with and then gradually build up. The second exercise is a bridge with a march. Start by engaging your abdominals, squeeze your buttocks, lift your hips. Now stay in this position and lift one foot just a couple inches off the table, bring it back down. If you can, stay in this position. Shift your weight, lift the other leg a couple inches, pause, and bring it back down. And then lower your hips. Exercise number 3 is a clamshell. I'll move on to my side for this one. Bend your knees up at an angle and stack your knees and your hips. Try and keep your hips aligned as you perform this exercise. Draw in your lower abdominals, your belly button toward your spine, tighten your butt muscles, and then lift the top knee as high as you can go, pause, and then lower. And repeat for 20 repetitions. If you feel pain in the area where your pain typically is, then start with just a very small lift and lower. Don't try to push through the pain with this exercise. This is geared at strengthening muscles in the area around where the pain is. So if this exercise is causing some compression and irritation in the bursa, we don't want to just keep aggravating that tissue. This might change day to day too. So on days where you're feeling more painful, don't worry about it. Don't do this exercise. On days of less pain or no pain, go ahead and try to perform as many repetitions as you can with the goal of 20 repetitions. Okay, after you've performed it on one side, go ahead and switch sides and do 20 repetitions on the other side. Next up is a side rotational lunge. Standing with tall posture, we're going to step out to the side, turn your toes, and lunge over to the side. Make sure to keep your knee behind your toes and only go as far as you feel comfortable, especially when you're first starting this exercise. Pause in the lunge position, come back to the starting point, and repeat on the other side. Step and turn to the side, lunge, and come back to the starting position. Repeat that 10 times on each side. If that feels like too much of a rotation or too big of a step, start with just a small angled lunge. Out to the side, come back to the center. Same thing on the other side. Small angled lunge and back to the center. As you build up strength and range of motion, gradually try to increase how far out to the side you turn and see if you can increase your step so that you're taking a larger lunge. Come back to the center. This exercise is excellent for opening up the hips and strengthening muscles surrounding your hips and pelvis, even up into your low back. All of which will help decrease the stress and strain on the bursa on the side of your hip. The final exercise for hip bursitis is a hip flexor stretch. I'll turn to the side. Standing next to the countertop for support, stretch 1 foot forward and 1 foot back. Now from this position, bend the front knee. So you're going down into a lunge position. Place your hand on your hip and try to tuck your tailbone down and under. Try to roll your pelvis back, roll your hip back. The purpose here is to focus the stretch on the front of the hip, on the leg that's back. Hold for 20 seconds, relax, and then switch legs. All right, now left foot back and hand on my hip. I'm going to tip my pelvis back to feel the stretch in the front of that left hip. Hold for 20 seconds and then relax. Perform that stretch 2 times on each side. In addition to the exercises, you might find using a cold pack or even pain creams to be helpful. When using a cold pack, I suggest applying the cold pack over clothing for 10 minutes at a time, a couple times a day. In terms of pain creams, I'm not advocating any one specific product, but oftentimes people do report decent pain relief from a topical pain cream because the bursa in this situation is fairly close to the surface. Applying a topical pain cream might help you decrease your pain levels to the point where you're able to do more exercise or movement-based therapy in order to help you recover all the way. I hope you find these exercises helpful to decrease pain and help you stand and walk better, ultimately so that you can do your everyday activities to the best of your ability. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, you might check out some of my other videos addressing stretching and strengthening of the hips, pelvis, core, and low back. All of these areas are intricately connected. So working on all of them may be very helpful to reduce the pain that you're experiencing in the side of your hip. If you've liked my video, please consider subscribing to my channel, and it's always great to see a thumbs up. Here's to your healing, health, and happiness. Have a wonderful day.